Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Nessa and I'm an author from Toronto, Canada, and I publish under the pen name A.N. Sage. I write a lot of young adult, mostly fantasy, and I currently have a cozy mystery, paranormal cozy mystery for adults that was just signed for 3 more books, so it's an ongoing series. If you enjoy videos from an author geared towards authors and other creative entrepreneurs, then make sure that you stick around, hit the subscribe button and the notification button so you don't miss any future videos. Now, this is a very exciting time if you are an author or a writer or just somebody who dabbles in the art of writing, because we are getting close to NanoWrimo. Now, what is NanoWrimo? NanoWrimo is National Writing Month, and it happens during the month of November every single year. Now, during this month, authors come together from all over the world and they put together a goal to write 50,000 words within a month. That's massive. That's pretty much an entire book, depending what genre you're in. So it's very, very exciting. And if it's not an entire book, then at least gets you on a good chunk of the way towards finishing a full novel. You don't really win any kind of big prizes. You do actually get some discounts to different things. A lot of times Scrivener takes part. So if you're looking into getting a discounted code for that, Pro Writing Aid, different tools for authors. So you do get some discounted swag and things like that. You can support the shop and get some swag from there. But for the most part, what you get is a community of other writers that are all working towards the same goal. You can actually find different authors and writers in your own physical community, meet up with them and do different types of events for NanoWrimo. I do this quite often with different writers during this month. So I wanted to talk to you about not NanoWrimo because that's happening next month. I wanted to talk to you today about Preptober. And what is Preptober? Everybody pretty much knows about NanoWrimo, but a lot of people either don't understand what Preptober is for, don't know what it's about. Preptober is almost exactly what it sounds like. It is the month of October before NanoWrimo when you prepare for the event. So preparation comes in different forms. For everybody else, it's a little bit different depending if you're a planner or a plotter or other things you might have to do. And I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about Preptober, what my plans are, some of the tools that I'll be using for Preptober in order to get myself ready for Nano, what I'll be working on during Nano and why I'm working for it, and also just to kind of give you tips and things that you can do during your own Preptober practices. So to start it all off, I will be working on the 4th book of Orchard Hollow, my paranormal cozy, because that is due to my publisher in the new year. And that's going to be my project for NanoWrimo. I will be gone for 1 week of Nano, but I'll still be writing while I'm away, and I'll probably pre-write a little bit as well to kind of get myself ahead on schedule. So part of what I'm doing on Preptober is going to be writing a little bit of the novel to start, to kind of give myself a little bit of leeway because I'm gone for the 1st week of November. The reason I'm working on Orchard Hollow is because, as I said, it is due. I will also be concurrently working on the Gilded Queens, which is my series that is under a membership program on Ream. So 2 projects going on at the same time, which is a lot, but the bulk of the project and the project that I'm going to be tracking on the NanoWrimo website is going to be the book 4 of Orchard Hollow. I haven't announced the name yet. I haven't done any cover reveal, so there's like a temp cover up there, but it's all ready to go. I've set up the project. And one of the things that was my goal to do for Preptober is to set up my NanoWrimo board with this new project. It doesn't take very long if you've done it before. It's literally a couple of clicks. You just kind of put a project in place. You can have a temporary cover. You don't have to. I have it on there. And you just kind of attach the project to your NanoWrimo of that year. So when you start tracking, it'll track it towards the goal of the 50,000 words. What are the tools I'm going to be using? So as always, I'm going to be using my trusted planner plotter pouch. I am a planner. I'm not a planner for the Gilded Queens. I've talked about it before, but I am a planner and a plotter for the rest of my books, especially my cozy mysteries, because they do take a lot of planning to get the clues and all the like murder situated and everything. So what I'm using is this plotting pouch. I do have a video on this and there's a short of it as well. So just check that out on the channel, but I have in here my bullet journal, and this is my plotting bullet journal. Every time I sit down to get a book going, I set up pages for it, and I go through this and I plot every single thing that's going to happen. So I have like my murder board, suspects, all of that stuff. So that's one of the main tools that I'll be using is this plotting pouch. The next thing that I'm using, and if you are signed up to the newsletter for this YouTube channel, you will have access to a resource library where I have a whole bunch of different resources. So I have a word count tracker there that's going to be perfect for Nano for the 30 days, 31 days, 30 days. And then I also have a lot of plotting sheets. So what I'm doing with those plotting sheets is, I have shared this before. This is my planner for the Gilded Queens. I'm using this as a story Bible, not to actually plot or plan any of the stories, but there's a Bible in here for the project of the Gilded Queens. But I'm going to be using this back section, and I'm actually going to be printing out all of the plotting sheets that I have available for everybody for free in there, so that I can use those sheets to plot my novel to get myself ready. I will also be using Plotter. So I have talked about Plotter before. It's a great tool for plotting. There is something else I might be switching to soon. I am still considering it, so I haven't announced that tool quite yet. But I might be switching to use it as opposed to Scrivener and Plotter, but we'll see because it's an online system. But for now, for this book, as for the other books in Orchard Hollow, I will be using Plotter. So Plotter is an online tool. It's for plotting. It'll help me set up my beats, and then everything just gets transferred into Scrivener. So there should be a video kicking around for that as well. And I'll try to link as many of these as I can in the description. And the final tool that I'll be using, and this is more the tool I'll be using during Nano to actually write, but since I'm going to be writing a bit during Preptober as well, I will be using it too. So this is the NeoSmart 2. You can't see the name because I have taken this thing apart and I've painted it to kind of make it cute and pleasing aesthetically to the rest of my office and all my things. But this is a digital typewriter. You can write up to 8 files, and I love using this thing because it's distraction free. It's just a little screen here. And usually what I would do is I would sit down, I would write my full chapter for that day, or whatever words I'm planning to do that day, and then I would transfer them over to Scrivener. And the final tool that I'll be using on the writing side is Pro Writing Aid. So I do edit as I go. I love Pro Writing Aid for this, just for self-editing as I go. My books usually go through several rounds of edits, both by me and by professional editors. However, as I'm writing, I do use Pro Writing Aid to kind of refresh my mind. So I will write one day, and the next day I'll sit down, run it through Pro Writing Aid, and then do a full read through and kind of do a rough edit of what I've written before. It helps get me in the mood, and it kind of helps clean up my first draft. And I have very, very clean first drafts because of this system. So those are the tools that I will be using during Preptober to set myself up to get ready for Nano. Now, some of the other things that I'll be doing and some of the tips that I actually have for you is I'll be wrapping up pretty much every other project that I have, with the exception of Gilded Queens that we talked about. But anything else that I'm working on book-wise, anything I'm working on for my cover design business for other clients, anything that I'm working on for Glitter Fritter, which is my little Etsy shop, those will all be wrapped up. I'm not going to be having probably any major releases. I might have an Oracle deck releasing in Glitter Fritter on the shop sometime towards the end of November, but we'll see how that goes. I'll see how Nano goes. But what I'm doing during October is I'm trying to wrap up all of these big projects. And I suggest you do that as well. So if you have other things going on, I would recommend that during Preptober, you work at wrapping them up so that you don't have too much on your plate during Nano, because it can get grueling to write so many words in 1 month. So you want to give yourself a break. The other thing that I would say, and a lot of people don't talk about this because everybody talks about like Nano and all the stuff you're doing, and then Preptober and getting ready and doing all these things of plotting and setting up books and notebooks and journals and all that stuff. But you might want to take Preptober to just not do anything. You might want to take it to relax, to read some books, to watch movies, not to do anything that is writing related. You might want to put your writing aside. And the reason you might want to do this is because if you're doing too much, I find sometimes when it comes time to actually work on your writing, on your book, and work on it in such an extreme way as you would during Nano, you kind of have exhausted every kind of energy, creative energy that you have in you. And when it comes time to write your Nano, it becomes much more difficult. So maybe give yourself a full month of October to relax and not do any writing at all. You could just read. That counts towards doing work to prepare yourself for writing too. However, if you do want to prepare, then you should take Preptober and work on your plot. Space it out so that not everything is left over to the last minute. I am currently slowly working towards finalizing the plot of the 4th book of Orchard Hollow so that I'm ready to go. I'm doing a little bit every single day. That way I don't push everything to the last minute, and it kind of gets me slowly excited for the project. So take Preptober to either prepare to plot. If you're a pantser, maybe set up some journals for yourself so you have somewhere to brainstorm as you're writing. If you're a plotter, then get your plotting things ready and figure all of that out. Do your character work, do your world building, do that background checks that you need to do. So use October for that. Or, as I said already, don't do anything at all. Just relax. Give yourself a break. You're about to enter into a very, very hectic environment for writing and being creative and constantly thinking on your toes. So give yourself a break. Don't do too much, maybe. Do it little by little. We have an entire month to get ready. So if you do a little bit every single day, I find it's a lot easier than just leaving everything to the last minute and doing it all in one go. So that's kind of my little pep talk slash what I'm doing and my plans for the upcoming Preptober month, and what's going to happen in November, what you can expect. So if you are a member of the Gilded Queens NanoWrimo, the description is below if you want to check out the project, follow it, support it in any way. But if you are a member, then despite Nano and despite everything that's happening with Preptober, nothing is changing in the schedule. We are still going to be releasing 1 to 2 chapters, depending on which tier you're supporting, as long as it needs to go on for the series to be completed. So we're currently in book 1. We are releasing chapter 13 and 14 this weekend, and then we're going to go from there. So that does not get interrupted. The glitter photo shop will not be closing down. Everything is going to stay open. I will still be taking some clients for design, but I will be lowering how many I can take. So if you are a client of mine, or if you were looking to get a book cover designed, then make sure you contact me now, because I'm booking up well ahead of time at this point. Same goes for editing. Any editing work that I do, any beta reading work that I do. If you're looking to contact me for that for the future, I would suggest you do it now, because Preptober for me right now is also figuring out December, January, and February. So thinking ahead. So with that said, I hope it helped you guys. Whoever's participating in Nano, leave a comment below. Let me know what your handle is on the NanoWrimo website, and let's be friends over there. And tell me what you're working on. I want to hear what books you're working on, what you got going on for the upcoming month of November, and I want to know what you're doing during Preptober. So hopefully some of these tips helped, and I look forward to chatting to you guys more during the month of Nano to see where we all stand as far as the 50,000 words goes. As always, stay magical, and I will see you next week. Bye!